Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn history. Today, the Han Dynasty. And after we've done it, we're going to do stretching. And if you participate in the stretching, it's better be honest. This is part 2 or 3 already. I'm talking about war also. Now, we want to do now a presentation about that. And we want to advance one part somewhere that the empire couldn't outlast or couldn't withstand forever. The empire exists forever. Around 200 after Christ. Intrigues weakened the Han emperors and also rebellions by the Yellow Turbans from the north. No, just the Yellow Turbans and other attackers and rebellions, for example, the Yellow Turbans brought in the empire down. Okay, there was Liu Bang was a poor villager, but when in 210 he became the king of a small Han kingdom which had come to power when the Qing Empire had broken down. And in 206 he led an army to Xiangyang, the capital of Qing, and he burned the city down. And also the library where many books were which existed just one time. And Shi Huangji's book library was it, and also his tomb were destroyed, looted. And when in 202, Liu Bang proclaimed himself the first Han emperor with the name Guazhou. The Han Empire didn't exist forever, we're going to say it then. The Han Empire didn't exist forever. Around 200 after Christ, 400 years later, it was through internal intrigues weakened in their emperor strength, through internal intrigues weakened, and also rebellious groups like the Yellow Turbans brought it down. But at the time, during the Han Empire, it grew to a flourishing size as the Roman Empire was it at the time, and there was trading done over the Silk Route from the Han Empire to the Roman Empire, and silk trade and horses were traded, and there were many craftspeople in the beautiful and crowded cities, and were doing things out of wood, painted silk, wood, painted silk. It was a segment. And during the time, it was also tried to revive, I don't know what other thing is, but to revive the teachings of Confucius, a philosopher who lived earlier, and also it became duty for people who held public offices to become scholars. 165 before Christ, they had to have the examples. Here was a part which I never read, 2 parts. Richly colored silks, not in history. We did Liu Bang in biographyology. Richly colored silks were bought from China merchants by traders from ancient Persia. Richly colored silks were bought from Chinese merchants by traders from ancient Persia, modern-day Iran. Silk was also transported from China by camel trains to Damascus, the gateway between the east and west. Okay, first painting picture. We have it one. And now I'm going to read what is written to it. Beautiful objects like this bronze urn were traded between China and Europe along the famous Silk Road for thousands of years. I don't know where I can Edward. The Silk Road passes pretty much through Damascus. I don't know exactly, but can we say it all? Shi Huangji. 5. Let's try it. I have a second camera. I'm going to start now. And let's try to make a presentation about the Han Empire. The Han Empire. There was Liu Bang. He was first a poor villager, but when in 210 he became to be the king of a small Han kingdom. And that happened when the Qing Empire had broken down. When in 206 before Christ, he led an army into Qin, into the capital Xiangyang, and there they looted the temple of Shi Huangji and also burned his library down, many books in it just one time. And also the city did the burn down. And then in 202, he proclaimed himself the first Han Emperor, and he took the name Guozhou. The Han Empire didn't exist forever. Around 200 after Christ, so 400 years later, it broke slowly down through internal intrigues and also rebellious groups like the Yellow Turbans. During the existence of the Han Empire, there was trading done from the Han Empire over the Silk Route, over Damascus also, to the Roman Empire, and it was silk traded and jade and also horses, and many craftspeople were in the cities in the Han Empire, and they were doing paintings and also woodwork and something like that. And that is according to... No, we gotta stop it. It was silk. Silk was it. Silk. And I wanted to name the other things. And the Fuji reached its peak 100 before Christ, and the Fuji its peak. Okay, let's start to say it also. The Han Empire. Liu Bang was a poor villager, but then he became to be the king of a small Han kingdom in the year 220 before Christ. Now I want to do it now. 210. The Han Empire. Liu Bang was a poor villager, but then the Qin Empire broke down and he became to be the king of a small Han kingdom in 210 before Christ. And then in 206 before Christ, he led an army into Qin, and there they burned down the capital Jiangyang and also looted the tomb of Shi Huangji, and also burned down the library in which many books existed just one time. And this Han Empire, which was then basically founded with Liu Bang, who crowned himself then to be the first Han Emperor in the year 210 before Christ, and took the name Guozhou, and existed for around 400 years. When 200 after Christ, it broke slowly down through internal intrigues and through rebellious groups like the Yellow Turbans. Now, while it existed, there was trading done. For example, through the Silk Route over Damascus, also to the Roman Empire. Both empires had around the same size. And there were many craftspeople working in the Han Empire in beautiful and crowded cities, and they were doing stuff out of wood and paint and silk, and they were trading over the Silk Route, silk for example, or also horses and jade. And in the year 165 before Christ, it became a duty for people who held public office to become scholars and make exams. And it was during the time tried to revive the teachings of Confucius, a philosopher who lived earlier. And the whole empire reached its peak under Wuji around 100 before Christ. That is according to Miles Kell's World History on page 56 and 57. It was an unusual presentation, I would say. But the way I like it. I'm going to stop the camera. And if you were here for history, and only for history, then you can go directly to the next part of history. We will do now the stretching. If you stay here and participate in the stretching, then it's better at your own risk. First exercise, stay here and lifting the arms up. And breathing in. And breathing out, we're going over to one side. And breathe in. And out, go back in. Breathing in. And breathe out, go over to the other side. Breathe in, open the ribcage. Breathe out, go to the middle. And lift your arms. Now, one sees the out, sure? Breathe again in. And out with one hand slides down the leg. And the other shoulder stays down. Breathe again in. And out, and we're taking one arm over. Now breathe in and open the ribcage. And breathe out, come back into the middle. Breathe again in. And out with one hand slides down the leg, and the other shoulder stays down. Again in. And out, we're taking one arm over. Breathe in and open the ribcage. And breathe out, come back into the middle. And now the aeronautic, aerobatic aeroplane, feet are standing together. We're breathing in and letting the arms up. And breathe out, and one hand comes down. Now breathe in and reach. And breathe out, one hand up. Again in. And out one hand down. Breathe in and reach. And breathe out one hand up and the arms down. Now the legs short and wide apart. You do forward shoulder circles. Back. Up. Front and down. And now backwards. Last time. And now we're breathing in with the shoulders up. Breathe out, let the foot down. Again in. And out. Again in. Out. Now the upper back up. Breathe in with the arms up. And now keep normal breathing while you reach all this one arm high up. You pretend to take an apple hanging higher on an apple branch. To turn it also a bit around. And then to harvest it. Now we lower your shoulder. Arms up to a T, legs wide apart, we're breathing in. And out we're going over to one side. Breathing in. Out over to the other side, just at the upper part of the body. Again in. Out. In. And out, we're leaning onto our knees. We're about to fight against hangover. Breathe again in. And out, finger out, shoulder shot. In the shoulder back. And out the other one in front. Again in the shoulder back. Out the shoulder front. Again in. Out. Right in the shoulder back. And out and hanging down. You only have to come deeper down, breathing deep in through the nose into the chest, and by breathing out through the mouth. Again in, and out. Again in, and out. Again in. And out over to one leg. Breathe in. And out over to the other leg. Breathe in. And out back into the middle. Now close the feet and we keep on hanging down. Breathe in. And out. Again in. And out. And the last time in. Now out, we're coming slowly with down back up. Making it to tumble backwards. Shoulder. Now the garden pose, the toes are pointing to the outside, having an unlimited space between the heels, everything in the arms. And breathe out, we're sinking down, we're pressing the elbows against the inside of the knees, and breathing in, straightening up. And breathe out, back up. Again in. And out, and again down. And in and straighten up. And breathe out and we come back back up. Back in. And out and down. Now breathe in, straight up. Coming slowly. One straight line. Upwards. And now we're doing the trunk again, legs wide apart. Breathing in, coming out. And we're breathing out. Last time out. Now we're feeling close to the legs. And that was the stretching. I thank you very much and until next time.